Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on a very important aspect. What is the kind of yoga which is getting formed in the transit and what kind of circumstances it is creating in our life. So guys, I recently made a video on where I talked about that in the transit. Saturn and Rahu right now are in a exchange of the nakshatra, over which I disabled the comments for that video because I mentioned 4 zodiac sign and I wanted all of you guys to watch that video. I do so much of the hard work, guys. Please, I don't have that much subscribers or views that I can full time rely on this income or do this continuously for a long time. And I don't even want to sell my kidney to make money. So I mean to say, please. So yeah, so after which, like a lot of the people put a direct message to me and they asked me that, Nipun, that if we have to talk about from the or we have to look at it from Saturn and Rahu's point of view, then what do you have to say on Ketu? What Ketu is doing right now? Then actually that that gained my attention. I did some research and I also was paying attention to the kind of pattern which I was receiving in the consultations which I have been doing, because obviously people come to me with a specific query and it's a pattern. You will definitely see during the time of new moon there is a concern of the depression which you will see in majority of the consultation and all. So when I started paying attention to the Ketu, so guys, we have to understand this thing. At a time when I made a video on this solar eclipse, I mentioned over there that in whichever nakshatra the solar eclipse takes place in our scriptures, it has been mentioned that that nakshatra is not taken for any muhurat for the next 6 months. That nakshatra somehow is considered as inauspicious for the beginning of the auspicious task. Now the second thing over here is that, guys, because what is happening over here is that when we talk about Ketu, Ketu is a planet which is filled with vengeance. Ketu has got this power to sever the ties where, and after that there might not be any coming back. Even if now you're realizing your mistake, you want to mend the terms, you want to apologize, you want to compromise, but Ketu has done damage so bad that now it is not even possible. So the point which I'm saying over here is that the pattern which I've been lately seeing is that specifically in the case of the people, like let's say for example, if you are a Virgo moon, if you are a Virgo ascendant, and more important than this, if you are right now in a dasha of a planet which is sitting in the Virgo. So now guys, the problem which is currently happening is that with this whole turmoil and exchange of conspiracy taking place between Saturn and Rahu, Ketu is somehow 8th from the planet Saturn. And generally this is a typical yoga where people lose their job in a very sudden way. Like the way guys see, in this regard, I would say that I never expected that this is how it happens in the West, because till the time I was in India, I was full-time engaged, employed in the jobs and all, corporate jobs and all. Yes, I have sold the credit cards, I have sold everything, I have done all of that. So, but ever since I moved to Canada, I never did any like a corporate job. I just did some sort of store jobs and restaurant jobs, but I did not do a corporate job. But later on when I got to know that, okay, when even the, I guess the Parag Agarwal, when he was fired, and the trend which gets followed in the West is that you do not even realize that you are coming to your office and suddenly you are being called at the HR office and you are being asked that, okay, today is your last day and you can collect your stuff from the security. We will bring your stuff there. They will not even let you go back to your workstation. So this is the kind of situation which is arising with lot many people who are right now in the dasha of a planet which is sitting in the Virgo. Like either these people, like I'm seeing the trend that a lot many people are worried that, okay, either they are like going through this turmoil that I'm just fed up with a job, I don't want to do a job, I don't want to stick around this and that. So they are already in this turmoil. And over and above that, there have been those few cases, not many, where people have been asked to leave. So now why it is happening? Because Ketu is right now 8th from the planet Saturn. And guys, the concern over here is that it's not only Ketu being 8th. Like when Saturn is going to be transiting to the Pisces. It is going to be getting conjunct with Rahu. Over there, then Virgo will start getting the more brunt, more heat. You know, guys, trust me, there's a very good friend of mine. He's a very profound astrologer, and I do majority of the discussion with him. So, you know, he told me that, Nipun, you do not have to pay much attention. If someone comes to you with a problem, you just have to see what Saturn or Ketu at a time is doing in his life. So I mean to say, this is something which I want to add, because I was just talking and giving emphasis more on the Saturn and the Rahu, their exchange, their movement in the year like 2025, and I was not talking much about the Ketu. So then someone asked me, I did a research, so this is what I found out, and this is what I want to give you as a remedy, as a piece of advice, that if right now you are in a dasha of a planet which is sitting in the Virgo, so you are in running dasha of that planet, please guys, do your job with sincerity, with focus, and like do not leave any stone unturned, or do not give any reason, any scope for your bosses to be harsh on you or come back at you. Because whether you talk about India or West, but the way these days firing happens, the way things are happening, so at least at your end. Now definitely after this, I don't want to scare you that you're gonna lose your job. It's just like that. It all comes down to the alignment. It all comes down to the way things are working and creating circumstances in your life, and how it is influencing and making a connection with your natal chart. So let's say, for example, in your natal chart, your 10th lord is in the 8th house. That in itself make you very sensitive. You are in a dasha of a planet which is sitting in the 8th house. That is making you sensitive, vulnerable. And over and above that, dasha planet is in the Virgo. So then if 1 plus 1 is only going to be giving the final outcome. But yes, if you were to ask me what Ketu is doing right now, how come Ketu be silenced when Saturn and Rahu are doing all this noises in the global politics, geopolitics, in our personal life? So yes, Ketu is in a condition, it is also very much active, and just because the eclipse energy has just passed through it, so it is also very ripe to create a disharmony. So just be very careful if in any way Virgo or Ketu is right now active in your life. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.